Podcast time.
Yay.
So welcome to the Riot Podcast for this Tuesday, February 20th in the year of our Lord 2018.
Very good.
Today in the podcast, we talk about Nikki's birthday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Find out, how it went. What's going on?
I told Obi off air it was a great birthday.
Good.
My birthdays tend to not be as great, so I felt like this was a real turnaround. This year was really good.
Yeah. You know what? I'm genuinely glad to hear that. Because Nikki does have a tendency, birthdays are a little rough, and I had talked to her about this year, like, hey, let's all band together and change things.
Yeah, let's do something.
And we didn't do anything big, but it did seem like
It was fine.
Had a good run.
I was really happy. My parents flew back to come take me to dinner, so it was very nice. It was good to see everybody.
We also talk about ramen, more than I expected to. Time travel, cereal pooping, unicorn Lucky Charms, and drinking cobra blood.
When you put it all in a row like that, it's really stunning.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget, if you hear anything during the podcast, you're like, oh my gosh, like with the ramen. So many people were texting us like their ramen hacks. Feel free to text anytime, 877-2-RADIO-U, or if you join us at Radio U Riot on Facebook, message us or just post it on the wall and we'll see it there too.
That sounds great. Any
follow up to that?
Anything you want to?
Have a fantastic day.
Yeah, us too. It's the Riot.
Bye.
That goat farm is looking more and more likely every day. It's the worst of the Riot.
All right, Nikki, here we are.
The day after the birthday.
Nikki birthday +1. How was it?
It was good.
Yeah?
Mario Kart went over really well.
Mm-hmm.
Played a lot of that last night.
That's good.
Had a great birthday dinner.
And what was that?
We just went to a restaurant with family. So
what did you have, though?
I did not like what I got.
Oh, that's too bad.
It was like a rotisserie chicken sandwich with this cheese stuff, and that I pushed past. So we have that for another time.
I had, for your birthday lunch yesterday, I really enjoyed what I got, though I had way too much of it. It was just boneless wings, but you know how... Man, that's such a roll of the dice kind of thing. And instead, they were just...
If you plan for too little, then they're tiny. And if you're like, no, I'll take, a larger amount, then they're huge.
I got 12 of them, think I would eat 10, and I ate 7 because they were enormous, but they were delicious.
Yeah, but it's hard to bring a wing back.
And so were the sweet potato fries that I had.
Good. Oh, yeah.
But what about your lunch yesterday?
That was pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
The next time we go, I got to try that. They're like signature dish kind of thing.
It's like a henny chicken sort of thing.
What is henny?
I don't know. Maybe the style of it. And then it's got like a honey sauce with it. Again, pretty good.
I need to just bite the bullet, take the plunge, get that. But instead, I'm like, no, they were having a special where it's like, hey, these boneless wings are 60 cents. And I was like, that's perfect.
But
I order them, and they're like, oh, yeah, you have to order a soda with it.
And you're not drinking soda.
So I got a Sprite, and I don't know. By the time you're done, it's like, this isn't a special, right? This is what it would have cost if I would have just ordered them off the menu.
But they got you.
Yeah, they got me. I hate that. I hate being got. But they got me.
Well, I appreciate all the happy birthdays from yesterday. It was super nice to hear from everybody.
Yeah, and I just want you to know, Nikki, that there are plenty of Oreos left on the counter.
I saw yesterday we did a Riot food fight with the Peeps Oreos. That's posted if you want to see the food fight from yesterday's birthday edition. That's up at Radio U Riot on Facebook and YouTube. If you have not yet subscribed or follow us there,
you can do that.
That would be worth doing.
Okay. So anything else you want to get out? Any birthday-related news, items?
No, it was just really a nice birthday.
Good.
So thank you to everybody. You for Mario Kart as well.
You're welcome.
Making it nice.
Always glad to contribute.
Sure, the Riot could start eating healthy, or they could continue living happy, enjoyable lives. The Riot on Radio U.
Man, these time travelers coming forward, it's getting popular. Everybody's...
Hey, we're talking about the one last week from the guy who said he came from 2030.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a YouTube video where he was showing... Well, no, he didn't really show much, but he was taking a lie detector test and it made you believe that he was passing the lie detector test about traveling back in time.
Yeah. Well, then there's been 2 more since then, They had the one guy.
The picture guy?
Yeah, see.
But that was old, I thought.
There's 2 picture guys. There's the one guy that showed the picture that looked like he had just grabbed a really, really crappy screen grab from Blade Runner.
And his makeup, I didn't feel like he looked...
his makeup was so fake.
He didn't look very convincing as an older person.
So fake.
So
he was
like
18 going on 80. It just totally was not working.
Like, no thanks.
Well, now we've got a guy who says he's traveled to the year 5000. And Los Angeles is completely underwater. He's got a picture that he took of it, and he said that everything is made of wood in the future, and like everybody lives on top of the water. So he's got this photo here that, from what I can tell, looks like it was taken of an aquarium.
Somewhere.
It looks like an aquarium. But he says, let's see, does he explain how he ended up traveling through time? I don't think he does, because the middle guy, the last week, the Blade Runner looking guy, he was like, yeah, I work for the CIA and I traveled through time, and for some reason they sent me forward in time with this really crappy disposable camera, and I managed to bring this image back.
To get one picture back.
Yeah. So he says that, he's saying humans will reach Mars in 2020, which is total crap because... we're not getting there in 2 years. Like, now that guy who said we'd get there in 2028, okay.
Maybe we need more time.
All right, but like, man, it's not happening in 2 years. I'm sorry. Like, we're barely going to be done with the Avengers by then. Come on.
We're not planning for any of that.
So I want to time travel
right now.
Like, I want to time travel.
You could do a time travel video. You can't actually time travel, but you could do the video.
That
you
is
can
not
act
the
like
same.
you're an old man.
I don't want to act like an old man. I don't want to whatever. I want to get in a time machine, and I'm not sure if I want to go forward or backward. That's a starting point.
Question.
What about you? Forwards or backwards?
I feel like I want to go backwards to be confident in where I was going.
Yeah.
To know, because then I could go back and alter my timeline and obviously be wildly successful with a strange source of money. No one knows where it came from.
I just want to go back to 1982 and put $10 in Apple stock, and now I'd be a billionaire.
That's not too noticeable. But enough to where you would benefit. But yeah, you wouldn't change the sands of time.
Yeah. So, someone's got to get rich on Apple. It should have been me.
But I would prefer to go back than forward. Forward, I don't understand. So we don't know it yet. Forward,
I just don't want to know what happens to me. Like, don't tell me what happens to everybody else, but world trends, same thing. Like, I'm just grabbing the paper, bringing it back with me. Like, all right.
Let's paper from the future.
Let's compare the stocks or whatever. Let's put the money where we put the money so I can be rich, because obviously that's the only thing worth living for. Money.
No, but if we promise to do good with it, we'll fund Radio U for as long as possible.
Hey, I'll fund Radio U and take a vacation.
And we'll take a vacation and we'll be fine.
It's going to be serious.
So we want to do really good stuff with our money.
Well, sure we do, Nikki. I feel like that's a given.
But I think we've chosen we're going back.
Yeah, okay. All right. But how far back?
Not too back.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Like 50, you were saying.
100?
Maybe 30, 35 years?
Man,
when did Apple start?
They got no Xbox. Do we get to come back?
We're not gone for long.
The worst of the riot has no expiration date. It's born spoiled. It's the Riot on Radio U.
You guys might not be having this where you are, but Nikki and I are in the middle of a throat clearing party.
Well, you just got to do what you got to do.
I don't know if you noticed, but during that song, both of us cleared our throats about 14 times.
Pretty much. Well, it's just... It sometimes it gets more and more as the week goes on, where you're just like, and I think you slept with your windows open.
Oh, I did.
I slept with my fan on full blast because it's just hot here right now.
Yeah.
And that tends to mean you have to clear your throat.
Can I tell you that if I could, and I don't, because I feel like it's one of those things where it's becoming a drug and I'm trying to get to a purer and purer, more refined thing. But I sometimes have two fans.
Two fans in your room?
I've got an overhead fan, and then I've got a fan blowing on me. And I've thought before.
Can you add more?
Here's the thing. I'll be I've got a fan on my right side. I've got an overhead fan. But sometimes I roll over so I'm facing the left. And I'm
There's space here.
I should probably put a fan over here.
Well, weren't you always talking about adding an air conditioning unit?
Well,
like
yes.
the one where you put it in the window?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I'll wave a hanky. Hallelujah.
Would you keep the other
Come
two, or
on.
would that be enough?
I'm feeling something. I'm feeling something.
That's a window unit.
That's a good question, Nikki. If I would put that window unit in, but see, it seems to me that like you put the window unit in, you got the ceiling fan going, but then maybe put a fan in front of the window unit so it really spreads the air around the room.
Sure.
And I might allow, at that point, like an oscillating fan, but then I would also want a fan that's blowing on me at all times.
See, the overhead, the ceiling fan I like mostly because the noise, like it's comforting.
There's a hum.
You just get used to it and you're like, oh, I need that. You also need the air, but
I don't know, Nikki. These days, like, I can't even go to sleep without listening to something. So it's like whether it's music or an episode of a show or whatever, I've got an earbud in that distracts my brain long enough for my body to be like, bro, we're tired. So
it's like we're sleepy.
You know what? So I mean,
that's just how it is.
5 fans, a TV show, window, air conditioning unit,
and he sleeps like a baby. Finally,
is it that hard? Is it that big of a deal that it takes a little extra for me to get ready for bed?
Routine, you know, like sometimes on YouTube they're like, "Here's my nighttime routine." It's like, I want you to film yours. Like, well, it's gonna take about 10 minutes to get everything up and going.
Right? You gotta get everything spun up and ready.
Yeah, ready to go. And the electricity bill is just huge.
You know what, Nikki? What are we even working for? Right?
To pay for us to be able to then be able to fall asleep at night. You need all these comforts.
Listen, my water bill is huge. My electric bill is huge. But like, that's all I'm doing. I'm not out doing the fancy times at the whatever place.
Don't look into that.
Like, I'm not. I'm like, that's what I'm paying for.
You just want a window air conditioning unit still.
I just want to know if I can either have a third fan or a window air conditioning unit. Like, I don't understand why it's got to be weird.
If more people ask that question, I think we'd all be better.
I just want to know at what point in life, and I'm not there yet, but like at what point in life do I just do it?
Get the unit?
I'm like, you know what? I've dreamed of this my whole life. Other people dream of like travel.
Yeah,
and
I know.
There are all these things that they dream of. And my dream is like an absurdly comfortable chair, a window air conditioning unit.
I don't think you're asking for too much, but to kind of bring this back full circle, the more air you get at night, too, are you going to clear your throat more the next day?
I don't know.
Because that's what causes it a lot.
I'll tell you this right now. As soon as Demon Hunter really gets started, I'm just going right back to clearing my throat.
Now, here in the studio, it's like, it feels like 80.
At least.
It's just nasty.
Could be 85.
And I know it says 74 over
That's
there.
A lie.
That's too high.
That is a lie.
But we're not supposed to touch the buttons.
You're not allowed to touch that.
But if you walk past it and trip and your elbow pushes the button, then it's an accident.
Are you saying you want me to turn the air conditioner on?
Could you?
The Riot.
They hate me. They hate you. They hate us.
Why else would they make us listen to the worst of the Riot? Radio U.
Hey, I got some great news for you, and that is it appears that at least in the UK, that Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, it looks like they may actually be serving chicken.
Now, the negative side is there's something wrong, they said, with the shipment into the UK for KFC chicken, so now they're closing restaurants until they have more chicken.
So 800 out of the 900 locations in the UK are closed. They closed yesterday afternoon. They're not open again today, and it's all because they've run out of chicken.
So it's not a permanent closure.
It's not.
It's just we're not open today. They don't have any product.
So they can't sell anything. It says here, and I quote, "We can't compromise on quality, so no deliveries, as some of our restaurants are closed. Others are operating a limited menu or shortened hours." So that's good. I mean, there have been times when I've wondered what the heck I was eating from KFC. And I've always figured it was probably chicken or chicken meal-like substitute protein powder. But
they can still call it actual chicken. They say that they have a new delivery partner, DHL, and there's been some
DHL, that's not good for you.
The OFD on the chicken, and the chicken hasn't been getting there, and so then they have problems. And now, if you're in the UK, you're facing the problem with them.
This feels like one of those things where somebody at DHL waited in the drive-through line a little too long at a KFC.
No, they have their own chicken now. They never delivered it.
They're just like, yeah, remember that time when I waited and waited and waited and waited? How do you feel about waiting? Is it nice? Do you like it? How's this? We'll get it there when it gets there.
So KFC in the UK.
Can't rush quality.
They have about 95% of KFC outlets in the UK are franchises. And KFC said for their restaurants that they own, they'll still be paying its staff even though they're not opening. So they're encouraging franchisers to do the same with their staff.
Somebody tell me how I can get on that. Paid for not working.
I don't think this happens all the time. And it doesn't mean that their KFC might do that, but they're encouraging if you own a franchise to do that.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that I would like to find a way to get paid without working.
All the time.
I mean, that's...
Well, why do you work? Who's the delivery company again? DHL? Because they're not doing it. They're not getting them their chicken. So.
No, man. Over at DHL, they're freaking out. This is terrible publicity for them. DHL is like, we're just as good as UPS.
Come on.
And in the meantime, there's no chicken in the UK.
They just got this account, and it's like, this is not a small thing. I mean, 800 KFCs are not open for the next day.
This guy goes to bed. He's the head of DHL on a Friday night. And he's like, man, things are looking up. The company, it is happening. All that work, we got the KFC account, it's working.
And then you're like, that first email comes through of hey, we haven't gotten the shipment yet. Could you check tracking for us? That's what we always send out. You're like, could you check the tracking for us?
This tracking number might be wrong, even though I copied and pasted it.
Yeah, so could you just take a look? And then the next one comes in, and then before you know it, I always when is the moment that DHL and KFC know there's a problem?
And this guy's living a fried chicken nightmare right now. Nightmare.
The Riot talks about wanting a day off, but when do we get a day off from them?
Whoa! You suck at this!
It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
What is your go-to ramen noodles recipe? What do you do to dress it up a little bit? You just take it out of the bag? Do you microwave it? Do you have one of those little things you plug in so it boils the water for the ramen?
Are you a purist with it, or how do you make it?
Well, I've got a friend of mine, their go-to thing is you make the ramen and then you put eggs in it.
Yeah.
So the eggs cook up, and so it's almost like an egg drop soup, but you've also got ramen in there. They're like, it's protein.
Well, it works good. It adds a little something to it.
I wish I would have known that in college. I would have done more of that. Because, I know everybody does, but, man, I so went through a ramen phase.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
And you bought one of those. I bought a little thing so I could just cook the ramen, right in my room instead of microwaving or whatever. And our apartment, it wasn't an apartment, it was a dorm, so it didn't matter. So, yeah.
I have a nice little, it's like a golden sort of pot that you put on. Mm-hmm. And then my ramen doesn't come in bowls. So you make it traditionally where you just put the water in, heat it up, add the noodles. I add an egg. I usually do that too. Yeah.
Now, do you cook the egg or it cooks in the hot water?
It cooks in the water when you're actually boiling the noodles.
Do you, scramble
you just leave it there.
Or you just drop it in?
No, you just leave it in there.
Okay. And that's good?
Yeah, it's delicious.
I've never done that.
It's worth it. Add a little green onion, a little rice with it.
No green onion.
Yes.
No green onion.
I know you hate onions, but
that's for degenerates.
That's what I really like the most.
Not doing that. So, yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. His thing was that he also would add, what's the other thing that he always added to the ramen? I cannot remember.
Some people add different spices to it, and then, or
cheese. That's
cheese,
what it was. It was cheese.
People like that too.
All right, so egg, cheese, and noodles. Gosh, that actually sounds good. I'll take that now.
Even with ramen, do you ever just eat the noodles hard? That's good too.
I know people did that,
That's
but
really good.
That was not me. So I guess ramen's bad for you. That's what I heard.
Well, it can be. It's got a lot of sodium, and I mean, it's not. Unless you add a lot of extra stuff in it, it doesn't have a lot of nutrients.
Well, sometimes you're just looking for something to fill you up, something on the cheap. There's a company in Japan that is going to be releasing they've got a ramen noodle cup, but this cup has already got eggs and chicken nuggets in it.
Yes. Cup of noodle. Come on.
Come on. I love the idea of a chicken nugget in anything, and I'll take it in a cup of ramen if that's where I can get it right there. So they say, again, it's not coming to the U.S. yet, but you can always dream and or make your own.
You can add some fried chicken. Grab some chicken nuggets and pop them in.
Put some chicken nuggets in the freezer, and then get yourself some ramen. It's getting crazy up in here.
This is cup noodles, so that's a very well-known brand. It's just not here in the U.S. yet.
Not yet. But you never know, Nikki. Someday. What else is that in there? It's got onions in it, so,
You can just go around that.
You're cursed.
Aaron says add a big spoonful of peanut butter, which peanut butter can sometimes work with the soup.
In ramen?
Yeah, because peanut butter is used sometimes in in a few things. Don't be afraid of it.
I would try it, but that is a weird suggestion to me, dude. I'm not saying you're wrong. You could very well be so right, and I don't even know it. I've also heard peanut butter on a burger. You ever heard that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Listen, there's worse we can do.
I agree. Yes.
There's way worse.
You can put an onion on it.
The Riot has a problem with authority.
It's a little rule. Maybe you're not familiar with it. Nobody tells me what to do, ever.
Man, everybody's getting in with their ramen recipes here.
Everybody has some hacks with them.
Okay, like Andy says, when you make ramen with the ramen cups, Keurig with a large cup setting, just the right amount of hot water in your cup of ramen. Easiest way to do a cup of ramen without heating water. Dude, ramen with your Keurig.
Good call on that.
So thanks, Andy. This person who did not leave their name says creamy chicken ramen and dry roasted peanuts.
That sounds delicious.
Okay,
a little
sure.
crunch with it. Man, I really wish we had some.
I think you mentioned Aaron said a big spoonful of peanut butter.
Yeah, actually a few people have said that one too.
Randall says curry powder, some chicken or steak, mushrooms, and a dash of Tabasco. That's great, but that's a lot of work. Like chicken or steak, you got to cook that.
That's not ramen anymore. We want a simple recipe.
All right, Benjamin says garlic powder, onion, and Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire
sauce?
Mm-hmm. So Rick sent us a bunch of stuff that's very hard to understand, but something about jalapenos and sour cream.
Let's see. Mitch said ramen, stuffing, and diced chicken.
Ramen, stuffing, and diced chicken. But
like stovetop stuffing?
Like at that point, because to me, ramen is like, I hate myself, I might as well eat. You know, like I don't want to put the effort into really making any food, or again, in the circumstances I was in, like there's nothing hot that I can make unless I drive down to like McDonald's at 2 a.m.
Sure.
So, you buy a bunch of ramen because you get hungry, you just make some ramen.
I was always excited. It was like when I would eat a bowl of cereal for dinner, and in my head would be my mom going like, "What are you doing?"
You're not allowed
to do that. But yeah, you're like, "I live alone. I'll do what I want to do." And you're like, "I'm going to have ramen." It falls to me in that same window.
Nikki, the thing that bothers me is that I don't feel like what you just described, I don't feel like I've moved past that point in my life.
You're still there?
Yeah, where I'm like, the idea of like, just leave me alone, I do what I want. I need to move past that. But I'm still making ramen in some stupid little, I'm actually not. I haven't had ramen in forever. So maybe it's time to, you guys are making it sound like it's time to go back.
You gotta add some stuff.
You guys are dressing it up.
I know,
like
enough
big
to where
time.
it's very, very tempting.
Yeah, I could try that. I'm just tempted to try the egg. I've never even done egg in ramen. Where was I on that?
You should have done that one.
I had a fridge that was small enough. I could have put some eggs in there.
I do remember sometimes, though, with particular ramen, you're like, oh, everybody always makes it look so delicious. And you're like, you're eating it, you're loving it. And then you're like actually eating it. And you're like, well,
it's not that great.
It's not that great.
But it is that great.
That's why you need to doctor it up a little bit.
It is and it isn't. I used to get this stuff. Campbell's for a while had a ramen that was basically they baked the noodles instead of frying them.
Yeah.
And you had to pay more for it. But it actually, like the difference in the like killing you content, huge. But apparently people that buy ramen they're there because it's cheap.
Sure.
So I was paying 50 cents a bag instead of like 10 cents a bag. And
that's not even in the budget.
Who can spend that kind of money, right? It's just too much.
He was too much of a big spender.
Recycling paper is like planting a tree. Recycling the Riot is like burning down the rainforest.
We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
We keep hearing stories about serial poopers. You're like, oh, people that poop in cereal? No. People that poop serially, like SERIL.
Come on.
What?
Which reminds me, I saw those new Lucky Charms with unicorns.
We'll get to that in a little
later.
bit. We'll get to that later.
Someone who goes number 2 outside consistently where the neighborhood's like having a problem with it, and it's like a human person doing it. Not like you're taking your dog out for a walk.
So the police, Connecticut State Police, actually got involved in this one cul-de-sac in which they kept coming out and like, oh, there it is again. Now, I will say it's a little weird that the state police got involved until you get an aerial shot of the cul-de-sac where it was. It would appear
pretty
that
nice houses.
Those houses belong to people that probably donate a decent amount of money to various organizations.
So this lady,
police athletic leagues and whatnot.
A 43-year-old woman, she was charged with misdemeanor breach of peace. She lives a few miles away from the cul-de-sac in a city in Connecticut, and they set up a motion-activated camera after the first 2 times that someone...
The first 2 times.
That's a magic number with that.
Times.
She had pooped in the area. Oh gosh, I can't even keep reading this thing.
So she says she's lactose intolerant.
No way, but
sometimes she would have dairy and go for a walk.
And so she'd stop in the cul-de-sac because she couldn't make it to the bathroom in time, which I don't believe that.
She apologized. And I love this. The news organization called her because they got her publicly listed number. She did not return the phone call.
No way. And then if you keep going down, the other big one was last year in Colorado. They released footage of a woman who was always running in the neighborhood. And like she'd have a thing of toilet paper like tucked into her running outfit because she would always go to the bathroom while she was running. But never in areas where you were supposed to, like the bathroom. And they had to find her too.
I don't think they ever did find her, though.
Well, I thought they did, but maybe not.
They released photos of her that they got from closed-circuit TVs, but I don't think they ever actually found out who the lady was that was doing that. That's why this is news. All these serial poopers out there, they can't get them. And, Nikki, they finally got one.
They got one lady,
yeah.
Holly Malone.
Yeah, and, hey, Holly, your picture's going everywhere.
I want to find her on Facebook. Do you want to look her up just to see, does she have a page?
Come on, she's got to have that private by now, right?
Oh, well, I just want to see.
Do you know how angry the people are that share her name right now?
They're like, it's not me, I promise you.
Oh, let's see.
Well, we'll take a look.
All right, Holly Malone, this is not her. This is not her. What state was she in again? Connecticut. I wonder if I add that to the search, if we could. Oh, come on.
It's not worth it, is it?
No,
it's fine.
You know
I just
you would
thought
need
about
to
that.
see what just happened. Like, let's see, Malone. It doesn't matter. Just like someone who's never used a computer before. Here's Holly Malone from Granby, Connecticut. She loves the Patriots.
Is that her?
This is Holly E. Malone, so it's hard to be sure.
Worst of the riot, not enough? Not enough? Check the blog and all things Riot at riot.radiou.com.
Nikki's right. There is a new Lucky Charms that is featuring a new marshmallow.
It's a unicorn one.
The unicorn marshmallow
is now there.
Is now a part of Lucky Charms. The only thing that I just hate to disappoint you in getting a look at the unicorn marshmallow, I find it highly likely that I could give you a bowl of Lucky Charms that contained a unicorn marshmallow.
Well, I didn't know if I'd be able to actually tell it was a unicorn. Some of it, you know how you're just disappointed by the
everything
outcome. It's like picture versus reality, and the reality of the unicorn marshmallow is maybe not the best.
Okay, all right.
So the mythical horse was chosen in a decision. They must have maybe had a contest or something like that. I don't know. They just picked by people who wanted to have a unicorn.
So, but it's not just adding a unicorn. They're taking something away.
Oh, it's a new charm and then they take one?
They take the...
That's how you keep from hoarding things. You just... Not too many marshmallows.
They removed the hourglass marshmallow.
There was an hourglass
Doesn't
one?
it feel like there's some kind of prophecy being fulfilled? And then,
Illuminati.
And then when the time has arrived, the hourglass shall be no more, and the mythical beast shall rise.
I guess I never knew that was one. The rest of the marshmallows are hearts, stars, horseshoes, clovers, blue moons, rainbows. What? Red balloons? Is that all that they have? Is that marshmallow, the lineup?
Oh, Nikki, don't sneer.
It looks like it. But...
Don't sneer at the time of the gathering.
Well, no, I just didn't know. There's red balloons. There's rainbows.
Is there 99 of them? Just asking.
No, there's
just fine.
It's just you're only getting 2 in the whole bag.
They said they actually... Wait. What?
No, you only get 2 red balloons.
I was like, don't tell me that there's... Okay, I was like, man...
You never get anything.
Oh, okay. Well, they also said that they want to change out another one, so they want you to tweet at them with the emoji that you like, and they'd like to do a new emoji marshmallow.
Well, get rid of the clovers. Why don't we just remove those?
Nikki, Lucky Charms 4-leaf clover?
Get rid of it.
Why don't you just get rid of Lucky?
Well, that or the horseshoes. How about the horseshoes?
Well, those are unicorn shoes now, so I mean, they
You can't.
Yeah.
I tell you, Lucky Charms used to be good, but what's better is the Fruit Loops with marshmallows.
I still haven't had that.
Why not? What's wrong with you?
The last 2 times I've been in a grocery store, I looked for them. They didn't
I get
have
them at Aldi. They've been on like clearance.
Wait, if they're clearance at Aldi, then they're gone.
No, we sweep the shelf. We're just like, and
we'll bring some in.
I'll bring you a box.
Yeah, just like the cake you brought me.
Bringing it in.
All right. Well, tomorrow,
Setting a reminder.
Let's eat them.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be great? You and me just in here eating. That would be.
First off, I've had them all the time, so it's not as special for me. But I hope you like them. I'll bring you a box.
Okay, I see how it is now. Here, my riches are like your riches are my trash.
Whatever.
I pulled them out of the dumpster. Here, have all you like.
Fruit Loops for Obi with marshmallows tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Could you also bring me some milk and a bowl and a spoon?
Actually, do we need to bring milk?
Not really.
Do we have milk here?
Is there milk?
Bring Fruit Loops and milk.
Is anyone here? Can someone go check on the milk?
We only have like a tiny little bit of some sweetened tea thing and a Pepsi from like November. That's all we've got.
Let's just pour Pepsi on it. It's fine.
All we've got.
I got sweet
reminder.
milk.
I'll bring it tomorrow for you.
Sweet milk, yay! So, all right. Well, there you go, everybody. I hope you weren't invested in the hourglass marshmallow. Right now, it's not a huge group of people, but there are a group of people that are out there buying up old Lucky Charms. They're like, no, save the hourglass. Save the sense of time.
Instead, you now get Lucky Charms with a unicorn.
Unicorns. They're so overrated. Come on.
And what was the hourglass?
The hourglass?
Nothing.
It was a symbol of man's mortality.
No, it was a symbol of our oppression, of always time.
We're always oppressed by
running out of time.
Well, then the unicorn is a symbol of us not being willing to face reality. Right. It's like, oh, time's not passing past the unicorn.
Unicorn's fine.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation.
Chief, she's
Coffee and contemplation.
And the Riot. Obviously. Radio U.
You know what? Forget about all this talk about Lucky Charms and unicorns. If you really want to toughen yourself up for the day, you want to drink cobra blood.
Ooh.
Right out of the cobra's mouth.
Is that a new type of... Is that a cold brew?
Yeah, it's his new coffee blend that we have.
Over?
Yeah, I mean, cobra blood.
Actually, it'd be a great, really high-intensity coffee name.
Mm-hmm. So Cobra Gold is one of the largest military exercise in Asia. Training lasts for 10 days and includes eating geckos and grilling snakes. They are exercises to prepare troops for needing to survive in the jungle.
I'm into the jungle of the city.
Man, this says that U.S. and Thai Marines. I thought these were just guys from Thailand. But
they probably work together.
Yeah, it said that swallowed cobra blood straight from a severed snake's mouth during an annual jungle survival training.
It doesn't seem like survival, though, if it's the cobra blood. That seems more like a rite of passage.
Something Charlie Sheen would do?
I don't know. Like, you made it. Here you go. Have your cobra blood. We're never going to be a part of that, so it's fine.
This just shows you the large gap that exists between me and real men. Real men are in the Marines, and they're in the jungle drinking the blood of cobras. I'm back here arguing about mortality because
and Lucky Charms
because they took away the hourglass from the Lucky Charms.
There is a difference.
And replaced it with the unicorn.
There is a difference. I feel like there's room for both in the world. So it's not like you're not important.
Yeah, but I'll just tell you right now, like if society fails, and eventually it probably will, I don't know, it's the cobra blood guys that you need. It's people like me that you're not going to need them. You're going to be like, you know what? He was a lot of fun when everything was fine. But now that everything's not fine, we need those cobra blood guys to get in here and help.
No, I told you, if times get tough, at least we're here to give people information about the tough times.
We're not even good at that.
No, we can do that with some
Have
humor.
you ever heard us give the details?
We can't.
Have you ever listened to me give details?
Yes, sometimes we get them wrong. But I'm sure if it's just us left with a few select people at the end of the world time,
we'll be
a real big help.
All right. So, don't you guys wish we would have kept those hourglass marshmallows so we'd know what time it was? In the meantime, enjoy your cobra blood and past that sandwich.
Imagine both of us in a part of this exercise drill and just sitting there, and they're like, all right, what's next? And then they tell us about the cobra blood, and we're like, I'm sorry, what?
Hang on a second. I'll be right back.
And we never come back.
Don't wait for me. Like, don't wait for me.
Just keep going.
You guys, go ahead and start at the end down there, and I'll just get in line when I get back.
I would just say I have an allergy. So.
I have a cobra blood allergy.
I have a note from my doctor.
It sounds a little weird, but it's totally a thing. And so
then you could say, here, look, I have a note as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. But you guys are doing great, though. Keep it up.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the Radio U network through the Radio U app or at riot.radiou.com.
I hope you're not looking forward to tomorrow, because it's really going to suck.